In all of MLB history, every franchise has that one player, the face of the team.
The superstar baseball player of all time.
The standard, the one your dad argues about at barbecues. For some teams, the choice is obvious. For others, it'll start a comment war. But here's our totally unscientific but completely correct list of every MLB team's greatest player ever.
1930
doubled that with 54.
Sammy shoots a high fly out of the left center.
I've seen a lot of things in professional sports, but never in my life have I seen anything.
There's a long drive, way back in center field, way back, it is.
There's a fly ball, center field, hit well. Scott is back, he's at the wall, he leaps, it's gone!
For Baltimore, the answer isn't even close. It's Ripken Jr., the kid from Maryland who grew up to redefine what it meant to show up every day. 2 MVPs, 19 All-Star selections, and of course, 2,632 consecutive games. A streak that's so insane it may never be touched again. He was the Iron Man, and in Baltimore, durability became mythology thanks to Cal.
He clobbers it to deep left field. Going.
For the Red Sox, it's gotta be Ted Williams, the purest hitter baseball's ever seen. 344 career average, a ridiculous 482 on base percentage, and the last man to hit 400 in a season, way back in 1941. He missed nearly 5 entire seasons to military service and still hit 521 homers. Just imagine what those numbers would look like if he had never left. They called him the Splendid Splinter, and in Boston, Ted Williams isn't just the greatest Red Sox ever, he's the definition of a hitter.
Williams swings, there's a high drive, going deep, it is.
No doubt the Yankees have seen a lot of great players come and go, but none will ever take the crown of the greatest ever from Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth didn't just change a team. The dude changed the entire sport. When the Yankees got him in 1920, baseball essentially flipped overnight. 12 home run titles, 659 bombs and pinstripes, and he turned the Bronx into the center of the baseball universe. He was the Great Bambino, the Sultan of SWAT. And more than a century later, Babe Ruth wasn't just the greatest Yankee. He's the reason the Yankees became the Yankees.
It's a home run in the right, first home run of the series.
For Tampa Bay, the call is Iván Longoria, the third baseman who put the Rays on the map. From his rookie year in 2008, he turned a last-place team into a World Series contender. Rookie of the Year, 3 Gold Gloves, and the all-time franchise leader in almost everything that matters. Games, home runs, RBI, doubles, total bases, you name it. For a franchise that's still writing its history, Longo is the first true pillar, the one who made the Rays believe.
And the Rays storm the field. It's an 8-7 final on Longoria's second home run of the night.
For the Blue Jays, it's Roy Halladay. Doc was the definition of an ace, a workhorse who didn't just want the ball, he wanted to finish what he started. 8 All-Star teams, a Cy Young in Toronto. 7 times he led the league in complete games, a record that stood for years. Doc carried the Jays through the 2000s, keeping them competitive in a brutal AL East. And even though his Hall of Fame plaque featured a cap with no team logo, every Jays fan knows he bled blue.
Without a doubt, had Roy been here with us today, this is the decision that he would have made. And more than anything, would want both organizations to know that they hold a huge place in our heart and always will.
And now we leave the East behind and head to the heart of the Midwest, the AL Central. And for the South Side of Chicago, the choice is crystal clear. It's Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. Back-to-back MVPs in '93 and '94, 7 straight seasons with 100-plus home runs, 100-plus walks, 100-plus RBI, and a 300 batting average. Nobody else in history had ever done that. The nickname said it all, and on the South Side, he's still the gold standard.
Of those 500 home runs, his 50th career home run against the Twins.
For Cleveland, the greatest is Bob Feller, a one-of-a-kind phenomenon, a farm kid who went on to become an icon. 3 no-hitters, a dozen one-hitters, 8 All-Star nods, and he still lost nearly 4 full seasons to World War II, where he served on a battleship before coming back and piling up over 2,500 strikeouts. Cleveland built its identity around power pitching, and it started with Feller, the original ace of the Guardians. For the Tigers, the crown belongs to Ty Cobb. Nobody in baseball history hit quite like him. A career .366 average, which is still the highest ever. 12 batting titles, over 4,100 hits. Those numbers are almost untouchable. And even a century later, every Tigers record book starts with his name at the top. Ty Cobb was baseball's first superstar villain. Loved in Detroit, hated everywhere else. And still the face of Tigers history. For the Royals, it's George Brett, the swing that defined Kansas City for 2 decades. He's the only player in MLB history to win a batting title in 3 different decades. 1980 MVP, 13-time All-Star, over 3,100 hits. Brett carried the Royals to their first World Series title in 1985, and he retired holding nearly every offensive record in franchise history. George Brett wasn't just Kansas City's best hitter. The dude was their heartbeat. For the Twins, the crown belongs to Harmon Killebrew. 11 All-Star selections, 6 home run titles, 573 career bombs, still the franchise record. In 1969, he was named AL MVP after blasting 49 homers and driving in 140 runs. Fans at the old Met Stadium would joke about bringing gloves, not for foul balls, but for the souvenirs he launched into the parking lot. And to this day, Harmon Killebrew stands as the original power legend of the Twins. From the Midwest, we head out to the coast, where a once overlooked draft pick grew into one of the greatest players baseball has ever seen. For the Angels, it's Mike Trout, no debate. From the moment he arrived in 2011, Trout played the game at a level that just didn't seem real. 3 MVPs, 10 All-Star selections, the all-time franchise leader in WAR before his 30th birthday. Trout's prime years from 2012 to 2019 are one of the greatest stretches any player has ever had. Even without October glory, Trout is the gold standard in LA. The best Angel ever, period. For the Astros, it's Craig Biggio. He wasn't the flashiest, he wasn't the loudest, but nobody wore that Astros uniform with more consistency. Over 3,000 hits, 7 All-Star nods, 4 Gold Gloves, and he holds franchise records in games, runs, hits, doubles, and total bases. And while Jeff Bagwell and Jose Altuve have a solid case for this crown, Craig Biggio is the franchise's metronome, the steady heartbeat of Houston baseball. For Oakland, the crown has got to go to Rickey Henderson, the greatest leadoff hitter of all time, the man of steel. He swiped 1,406 bags in his career, an untouchable record that will certainly stand the rest of time. He was the franchise undisputed leader, the 1990 MVP, and the spark plug for multiple A's pennants. Oakland runs on Rickey time, and the truth is, baseball still hasn't caught up. For the Mariners, the greatest ever is Ken Griffey Jr. 10 straight Gold Gloves patrolling center, the 1997 unanimous MVP, and of course, the 56 homer seasons that turned the Kingdome into a launching pad. Backwards cap, sweetest swing in the game. Ken Griffey Jr. wasn't just the Mariners' greatest player. He was baseball's poster boy for the 90s. Every team talks about having a catcher who can shut down the running game. Texas actually had one, and his name was Pudge. Iván Rodríguez won 13 Gold Gloves in his career, 10 straight with the Rangers, a cannon for an arm, and the 1999 AL MVP. He was the first catcher in the American League to take that award since Thurman Munson in the 70s. Texas fans love the Pudge Show. He was the guy who made every base runner think twice, and usually regret it. From the West Coast, we swing back east, starting with the Atlanta Braves. For the Braves, the greatest ever is Hank Aaron. 755 home runs, still the gold standard for consistency and power. And he did it without ever hitting 50 in a season. When he passed Babe Ruth with number 715, the fireworks weren't just for Atlanta. It felt like the whole country exhaled. Fans called him Hammerin' Hank. Pitchers just called him unfair. And to this day, Hank Aaron is the heartbeat of Braves baseball. For the Marlins, it's Giancarlo Stanton. Now, this is arguably our most controversial pick yet, but Stanton won the 2017 NL MVP with 59 home runs, which is a franchise record. At the conclusion of his MVP season, he held the franchise records for career home runs at 267, RBIs at 672, and slugging percentage at .554. Yes, Miguel Cabrera and Hanley Ramirez have a solid case here, but Stanton was Miami's one-man fireworks show. And for the Marlins, that kind of power makes him the crown jewel. For the Mets, the greatest ever is Tom Seaver, the franchise. 3 Cy Young Awards, almost 200 wins in orange and blue, and one of the cleanest ERA ever. He was the face of the 1969 Miracle Mets, leading a team nobody believed in all the way to a World Series. Fans called him Tom Terrific, and that was exactly what he was. Tom Seaver didn't just pitch for the Mets, he was the Mets. For the Phillies, the crown belongs to Mike Schmidt, the greatest third baseman in baseball history, and it's not even close. 3 MVPs, 548 home runs, 10 Gold Gloves, and a World Series MVP in 1980 when he finally delivered the long-awaited championship to Philadelphia. They called him Schmitty. Opponents called him a nightmare. And for the Phillies, Mike Schmidt is the undisputed king of the hot corner. For the Expos and the early chapter of this franchise, the greatest is Vladimir Guerrero Sr. Vlad could hit anything in his prime. He left Montreal with a .323 average, 4 Silver Sluggers, and an MVP caliber bat every single season. Now, for Nats history, Ryan Zimmerman is Mr. National. But across the whole franchise line, Vlad Sr. is the crown jewel. Now we head to the Midwest, to some of the greatest players baseball has ever seen. For the Cubs, it's Ernie Banks, Mr. Cub. He brought joy to a franchise that didn't always bring joy back. Back-to-back MVPs in 58 and 59, 512 career home runs, and the all-time Cubs leader in games played. They called him Mr. Cub for a reason. Ernie Banks wasn't just the team's best player, he was the Cubs. For the Reds, it's Pete Rose, the hit king. He wasn't the fastest and he wasn't the strongest, but no one piled up base hits like Charlie Hustle. 4,256 of them, the most in MLB history. The dude was the spark of the Big Red Machine. Rookie of the Year, MVP, World Series MVP. And if there was a big game, you could bet Rose was diving headfirst into first base just to prove a point. Love him or hate him, Pete Rose is Cincinnati baseball. Period. For the Brewers, it's Robin Yount, a shortstop who could hit like an outfielder. 2 MVPs at 2 different positions, shortstop in 82 and center field in 89. That's versatility you almost never see at an elite level. He racked up over 3,000 hits, spent his entire 20-year career in Milwaukee, and carried the Brewers to their first and only World Series appearance in 1982. Robin Yount was more than just the best ever Brewer. He was Milwaukee baseball. When you talk Pirates history, the conversation always starts with Honus Wagner. 8 batting titles, over 3,400 hits, and a career WAR that still ranks among the best in baseball history. Fans back then said he had hands like shovels, scooping everything up that came his way. Honus Wagner was the original face of the franchise. the man who put the Pirates on the baseball map. In St. Louis, greatness has one name: Stan Musial. Stan the Man was the definition of consistency. For 22 seasons, he put up numbers that looked like they were copied and pasted year after year. 3 MVPs, 7 batting titles, 24 All-Star selections, and 3,630 career hits, split perfectly 1,815 at home and 1,815 on the road. Only Musial could be that balanced. When you think of the Cardinal way, you think of Stan Musial. The swing, the smile, the standard. From the tradition-rich Midwest, we head out west. A younger division, newer ballparks, and newer icons. For the D-backs, the greatest ever is Randy Johnson, the big unit. 4 straight Cy Young Awards in Arizona. Over 2,000 strikeouts in just 8 seasons with the club. And in 2001, he carried the expansion D-backs to their first World Series title, winning co-MVP honors. Randy Johnson was the desert's ace, the peak of intimidation, the face of Diamondbacks baseball. For the Dodgers, the crown goes to Sandy Koufax. From 1962 to 1966, Koufax put together one of the most absurd 5-year runs the game has ever seen. 3 Cy Young Awards back when there was only 1 given for all of baseball, and MVP in 63. 4 no-hitters, including a perfect game in 65, and 2 World Series MVPs with the Dodgers. Fans called him the left arm of God, and in Dodgers history, nobody's peak has ever touched Sandy Koufax. For the Padres, it's Tony Gwynn, Mr. Padre. 8 batting titles, a career .338 average, and 19 straight All-Star caliber seasons in a Padres uniform. In 1994, he flirted with 400 when the strike cut the season short. In 1998, he helped carry San Diego all the way to the World Series. And through it all, he barely struck out. Just 434 times in 20 years. Some guys do that in 3 seasons. Gwynn was pure contact, pure class, and the one constant for a franchise that's had plenty of ups and downs. For the Giants, the greatest ever is the one and only Willie Mays. He could do it all. Hit for power, hit for average, run like the wind. 2 MVPs, 12 Gold Gloves, 24 All-Star nods, 660 home runs, and highlight after highlight that looked like something out of a comic book. Willie Mays wasn't just the Giants' greatest player. He's one of the greatest to ever touch a baseball field. For the Rockies, the crown goes to Todd Helton. 5 All-Star nods, 3 Gold Gloves, over 2,500 hits and 369 home runs. And in 2000, he put up video game numbers. A .372 average with 42 bombs and 147 RBI. In 2007, he was the veteran who helped guide Colorado on that miracle run to the World Series. Fans called him the Todd Father. Teammates called him the Captain. And in 2024, Cooperstown called his name. Todd Helton was and still is the Rockies' true franchise cornerstone. 30 teams, 30 legends. And if you enjoyed this ride through baseball history, stick around, because the next story might just change how you see the game.